Chapter 3 The Revelation. The 12th dark day of Elenbu, 819. Events from Lugnasa in Llanmen are forever planted in my memory. The Silliers have long been known for the most raucous celebrations on Brittany. Usually the 3 days before the Lugnasa festival are the wildest, but the Silliers keep it going through the 3 days after the festival as well. This harvest festival was no exception. Leaving Gisela was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Why couldn't I have met her at the start of the celebration instead of the second to last day? It's been 2 days, and all I can think about is meeting her again during the Druid Council at Canton Lijank's Kuros. Then we can meet again at the Beltane in late spring. Seeing her at the Fertility Festival, I can't help but get excited. But that's an eternity from now. Had Boswin not unexpectedly left as soon as I returned, I surely would have tasted his wrath. I have been unable to focus on any of my studies. I've had the camp to myself, and my bedroll is nice and warm. I allow myself this little indulgence of not rising with the sun. "Grami," Boswin calls out. "Please come here." I nearly fall out of bed at the sound of his voice. When did he get back to camp? I slide into my robe and grab my mantle as I exit. Boswin and Caradoc are standing near the fire pit, waiting for me. Caradoc is here? What kind of trouble am I in now? I throw on my wool mantle to hide my confusion before joining the two lords. It's as if I'm 5 again, and Father is about to scold me for not doing my chores. By the cold ashes, the fire hasn't been tended since I let it burn out last night. "Lord Caradoc has not come here for merely a social visit this time," Boswin says, as he directs me to sit at the fire. "I find myself overly warm, so I will stand if it pleases you," I lie. I don't know why, but I sense trouble has found me once again. I force my shoulders back and my hands to hang motionless at my sides. Whatever it is, I won't give any indication of my anxiety. Boswin extends his hand in a placating gesture. "As you wish." I must be in trouble. "It seems that Master Arthian is still unhappy about you remaining in our order, and he has once again gone around me by bringing up your instruction directly with Loris. But I thought Lord Caradoc ruled on this 2 months ago, right after the summer solstice," I say. Caradoc looks to Boswin, who flashes a subtle smile. Deflated, I realise they are silently noting my impertinence. Any responsible head druid would have quashed this nonsense at once. Loris has decided to resolve this issue during the gathering at Canton, following the autumn equinox. I freeze in place. Rarely have I caused Boswin to lose his temper over the past 5 months. I inhale slowly. Whatever he is going to tell me next will affect the rest of my life. "How has your instruction been going?" Caradoc asks. What is he doing? Making small talk? I spend my time practicing weather magic and learning whatever else I am able from Lord Boswin, I say, a little too sharply. "And he has done well," Boswin says, cutting me off before I can explode at Caradoc. "Arthian took the unusual step of meeting with Loris over this past harvest festival. Caradoc can fill you in on what transpired." I'm covered in nervous sweat. I rub my arms for warmth and to comfort myself. Caradoc clears his throat. "I was made aware of Arthian's trip to the sacred grove of Inis Mona. Knowing Arthian as I do, I assumed he was going to cause trouble for Boswin, so I hurried to Nemeton Daiwal Deru myself. It was 3 days before Lugnasa. Loris does not like to hear petitions from anyone, including his druids. Being the first day of the 7-day festival, he refused to hear any petitions until after Lugnasa was over. I can feel it all slipping away. My throat constricts so much that I worry if I'll be able to breathe. I have been a good student since I joined Boswin in the spring. My goal was to irritate Loris before Arthian could speak to him, so that whatever Arthayan might ask for would be refused. I asked to be allowed to take on more students for training. Ogmios must have been working through me, for my eloquence found a friendly ear, and Loris granted my request. After me, Loris was well disposed to Arthayan's complaints. He throws his arms up at the unlikely event. Of course, I reminded Loris that I ruled as his proxy a scant few months ago, but it was to no avail. Boswin retakes the lead. Arthayan showed some initiative for a change, and had Master Gwalither join him. Their comments about you were one-sided. They claimed that Caradoc had not considered the issues you had with your previous masters. His hands tremble as he tries to rein in his emotions. A cold shiver goes down my back. Once his jaw healed, Gwalither threatened to poison me if he ever saw me again. It took all his skill to heal his partially detached tongue. Though secretly I hold the incident as one of my proudest moments, I dare not utter the thought aloud. Boswin keeps his lips sealed tightly, not trusting himself to speak. Caradoc breaks the silence and continues the narrative. I agreed to personally bring Loris's decision on whether or not your instruction should continue. I freeze in place. Caradoc waves his hand, unsuccessfully trying to banish my deepest fear. But I fainted a need to return to my people at the tomb of the old king first, Caradoc says. I promised Loris to deliver his message by the end of the 5th day after Lugnasa. That's today, I blurt. My eyes switch back and forth between the two lords, imploring someone to tell me what it all means. Neither is willing to put me out of my agony. Come, let us view the moor ponies, Boswin says. He changes into a raven and is off to the northern end of the moor, just like that. Caradoc shrugs at me before following Boswin's lead. What in the abyss has happened? I ask the empty camp, before hurrying to catch up. The two druids stand upon Black Tor, overlooking a stallion and his harem of moor ponies. Is this aptly named outcrop to be where my dream of becoming a druid is ripped from me once and for all? I never tire of watching them, Boswin says, eyes unfocused. Excuse me, lords, but can you tell me of my future? I say, without whining. I definitely do not whine. Should I have interrupted the lords? How can I not? Will my presumption turn them against me? My life is spinning out of control, and I am powerless to stop it. Boswin raises a hand to silence me. Please, Grami, I know you're anxious, but I have a significant decision to make. What decision? It's my future in the balance. Must he decide on what's for dinner? My head is about to explode. I ball my fists and release them over and over to bleed off the tension. You have done well these past few months, Boswin says, distracted. I'm afraid that is as close to a compliment that you are likely to receive from him, Caradoc says to me. Trust me, I should know. I can barely control the urge to strike out at both of them. Clench and release, clench and release. My hands ache, but I continue anyway. Caradoc says gently to Boswin, It's not like you to hesitate, old friend. I must beg your indulgence, Grami. Please leave me be for now. I will call when I'm ready. I stare at the bare, grassy plain and wonder what I am to do. I dare not go far, but I can't stay on the Tor, hovering over the lords. I see a young foal darting about the high moor, without a care in the world. How I wish I could feel that way. I take the form of a tawny owl and land in front of it. He lowers his head to sniff me, and I change into a foal myself. He lets out a surprised squeal, and his mother eases over toward us. I break into a canter and circle my new friend. He sprints after me, and a game of chase ensues. I start to get hungry, but I know better than to fill my stomach with grass. My human body will not appreciate that. I anamorph back to myself and manage to spook several of the mares nearby, causing the stallion to investigate. I broadcast feelings of calm to him and his harem. The foal walks to my side, declaring his friendship. Mollified, the adults return to feeding.
Grami, Bosman calls from the base of the tor.
I change back into a tawny owl and return to hear my fate. Delighted by this new game, the foal gives chase. I botch my landing by turning back into human form too early and too far from the ground. I land on my knees. Staring at Boswin's feet is quickly becoming my signature move. I spring up at once. Yes? Boswin extends a gentle hand to my new equine friend. Go, little one, back to your mother. He takes his place next to Caradoc. I alternate my gaze between them, silently urging one of them to speak. Very well, Boswin says softly. I will speak with you both again back at camp before nightfall. Grami, you will be given your quest.